Hello and welcome to the Evercade Retreat. Gene Joke here again, and today I'll bring you a review of 64th Street, a detective story, and adding it to my ranking every Evercade game ever growing list thingamabob. 64th Street is a side-scrolling beat-em-up in the mould of Final Fight, and it can be found on the Jellicoe Arcade Collection 1. It's effectively the first in the series of the Rushing Beat games. Rival Turf and Brawl Brothers from that series can be found on the Jellicoe Console Collection 1. Now, 64th Street, a detective story doesn't really sound like doesn't sound like a beat-em-up, does it? Sounds more like an adventure or something. But a beat-em-up it is, so clearly it's a detective story in the mould of the Guy Ritchie Sherlock Holmes films. But how does the game stack up? Well, on the graphics front, it's solid enough, but it does lack the sheen and pizzazz of something like Final Fight or, well, any of the myriad of beat-em-ups that came out at a similar time. Visually, it's almost unappealing. There's an ugliness to the characters and the palette which, well, isn't that appealing. But I certainly couldn't say that they're bad graphics. It's just something about design that I'm not really that keen on. I suppose your mileage might vary on that. The sound effects though, they're suitably meaty and got a good thunk to them when you're hitting your enemies, so they're really good. And the music is pretty good. It's got a very definite or distinct feel to it, which it works for the game. It stands out. It's quite unique, as I said. But I can't say I love it, but it certainly does the job. The gameplay is fairly straightforward beat-em-up stuff. Actually, for the most part, it is very standard beat-em-up stuff, a little bit unexciting in that respect. However, the one thing that really separates it off from the competition is the ability to throw the enemies into the scenery behind you, damaging it and possibly releasing some sort of pickup, be it health, points or a weapon or whatever. Think of it as the reverse of what you do in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game where you throw them into the screen and they then slap on the screen and slide down. Only it has an actual use rather than just being amusing. Because not only can it reveal pickups, but if you're throwing an enemy over the edge of the docks or something, well, that's a quick kill, isn't it? So overall it is a solid beat 'em up, which of course has multiplayer action. That, while less memorable than something like Final Fight, you certainly can't knock. You'll have a good time with this one. So the question is, where would I place it on my overall rankings? Likening it to similar games, I would definitely say that it's better than Two Crude Dudes. Although I find the aesthetic and the style of Two Crude Dudes more appealing, the gameplay is definitely better with 64th Street. However, I don't think it's as much fun as Bad Dudes vs Dragon Ninja, so it's going to go somewhere between them, and I've settled on putting it above Atomic Runner Chelnov, but just below Another World. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.